the only legacy medium that's holding its own against the online onslaught. Very simply, our market share is stable, whereas all the other legacy media has declined. And the reason for that is
no opportunity will go unchecked. In 50 years' time, it's probably going to be us and online left. We're growing the market where the clients don't maybe necessarily realize they wanted it, and now they're asking for it. We have AI that already monitors how the artwork performs. We have AI in our shopping markets. The advert can change according to the person looking at it.
Gentlemen, thank you for joining me on today's episode.
Pleasure to be here.
Can you please tell us a bit about yourselves? Tom, start with you, please.
Sure. Thanks, Mehdi. I'm Tom Goddard. I'm the president of the World Out of Home organization, which is a not-for-profit body with 250 members in over 100 countries. And our only purpose is to promote and evangelize the out-of-home medium. And we operate out of London and out of Milan, and we spend our time bigging up the out-of-home medium at this exciting time. It's really great to be back in the UAE, and particularly to be out of London at this time of year is a real treat. So I'm really happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
It's our pleasure. Thank you for taking the time. And James, if you can please introduce yourself.
Of course. My name's James Bicknell. I'm the Group CEO of the newly formed Multiplier Media Group.
Congrats.
Thank you. Previously CEO of Backlight Media, which was acquired by Multiplier Group last year. We have now formed Multiplier Media Group, encompassing Backlight Media, Viola Outdoor, Media 24/7. I've been doing this now for nearly 25 years around the world. I've been in the UAE for close to 17 years. And I think there's never been a more exciting time to be here and to be in this industry. So
yeah, absolutely.
Very happy to be here.
Great. Tom, can you please give us an overview about the global out-of-home media sector?
Yeah, with pleasure. And I just couldn't agree more with James in terms of this being a wonderful time to be in the medium, because it seems that all of our stars are aligned with so many positive things happening. And what we have is a global industry that is on average growing at high single-digit numbers. The only legacy medium that's holding its own against the online onslaught. And there are so many positive things happening in the sector because the out-of-home industry is investing heavily in ad tech and in digital transformation and embracing the digital world better than any of the legacy media. And I think we're in for a very exciting time in the next few years. I just wish I was 30 years younger, that's all, and could enjoy what's going to happen in the sector.
He'll still be here in 30 years' time. So
a few episodes ago, we had a gentleman, a professor of biology, and one of the things he's working on is longevity. So I'm pretty sure you'll be with us for another year.
I'd like to meet him.
30 years. Yeah. You had said that the medium is holding its own against everything which is changing. How is it holding its own, and why?
Well, very simply, our market share is stable, whereas all the other legacy media has declined. And the reason for that is because, as I said, we as an industry are investing heavily in digital transformation, but also other reasons such as the audience for out-of-home is growing. People are spending more time out of home. We also are speaking to a younger demographic. We are also providing a great balance in terms of brand presence for advertisers who are beginning to feel that they've overinvested in online, right, and are losing some brand identity. We're attracting budgets back from online and are now seen as a very integral part of the media mix.
And is this trend globally, or do you see certain regions? Okay.
It's global.
Can't turn us off. When you're getting bombarded online these days, when you're out of home, it's there.
Very wrong. That's true. That's true. And we have a lot of beautiful jewels on Sheikh Zayed Road, don't we?
And we do.
Yeah.
So
well, there's the investment. There's the investment.
Exactly. There's the investment.
So since you're saying that this is a trend which is absolutely global and you're seeing it happening everywhere, it means that we can only see a lot of future growth for this particular medium within the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, and I'm clearly not the only one who thinks this, because in recent years, and particularly in the last 12 months, there have been some very big investments made in the sector by other channels, buying in private equity owners, investing in the medium, and all of the forecasts that come out from the big 6 global agencies are forecasting 5 years of CAGR growth for out of home.
Fantastic. And James, speaking of private equity and ownership, so what do you think, and where do you see Multiplier Media Group's broader media ambitions going?
I think our ambitions are limitless. So I don't want to be say that we want to be number one worldwide, but I think the goal is to be up there. And so no opportunity will go unchecked for us. I think from the top all the way down, the remit is to think big, see where there's opportunity. As Tom said, that the market is growing. In 50 years' time, it's probably going to be us and online left. You won't see many of the other type of media.
True.
And so I think it's a really good time. We're seeing high double-digit growth year on year. So we think it's a great time to look at opportunities worldwide.
So vis-a-vis our global competitors, we're doing double-digit growth. They're doing high single-digit growth, which is...
I mean, from our UAE business, I think our growth is substantial. And is certainly on par or beating any out-of-home business worldwide, I would think. As Tom said, we see the rapid digitalization. And for an industry has this inbuilt growth where you can turn a static sign to a digital sign and multiply the income, it's unprecedented. So for us, it's proved to be very good. The quality of signs that we've been building in Dubai and now in Abu Dhabi.
So this is part of
very effective.
This is part of the innovation, because MMG is one of the leaders in the space. Actually, it's probably the leader in the space. So what sort of innovation you are trying to implement so that we can sustain that and implement it globally whenever we start making global acquisitions?
Yes. Well, for us, it's all about data. How we drive the change. We've been working at programmatic, how we can simplify the sales process. In Backlight, it's about the quality of the assets that we build.
Right.
How we can build the market in UAE is very high end. And so we decided that we would build structures that were landmarks, in effect, where the brands would ask for by name. I think, Tom, you remember that strategy at Ocean a long time ago. And having our CPO ex-Ocean, he's brought over that policy, so it works very well for us. The Triple Crown, the Gateway.
Yes.
We recently built our second Triple Crown in Abu Dhabi, which has proven to be
beautiful.
We're growing the market where the clients don't maybe necessarily realize they wanted it, and now they're asking for it. It's proving to be a very, very exciting time.
Smart way of creating demand. Tom, you like the strategy?
Yeah, and it is a real joy to work in an industry where the owners are investing heavily, and in all of the things that James said, plus audience measurement,
right,
and plus ad tech. When we talk about digital transformation, we're not just talking about the screens, the sites. We're also talking about the ad tech side, because on the buy side, there is a high degree of automation, and we have to match that. And we're doing that now very well through the programmatic channel, but we have to automate all of our trading and make the transactional side, as James said, easier. So we know all the areas that we need to invest in to stay up there and to compete hard against our main opposition, which is online. And the ownership structure in the industry now is such that that investment is going in.
See, that's a good segue to the best practices in the industry. All these new innovations is changing. So what are the best practices nowadays?
Yeah, I mean, the best practices are in implementing standardization.
Right.
Having a common language. Most of the media buying professionals now who are coming into brands and into agencies are young university graduates who are used to being guided by data.
Yes.
And they're used to having things automated. And we have to also speak their language. And we have to speak the digital language. So the investments that are going in, in terms of digital transformation on the screens is similarly being matched in ad tech, data, audience measurement, and standardization. All of these things are elevating the medium. And it's part of the reason why in the UAE, you enjoy a share in the market which is 4 times the global average, 22% of ad spend in UAE versus an average of 5 globally. And you also have been very quick to convert into digitization because you have about 65 to 70% of the locations digitized in the UAE, which is double the global average. And that's why your numbers are the envy of the world, really, in terms of where you are as an industry.
James, Tom went through a lot of things there. Digitization, programmatic, and we constantly hear artificial intelligence, Internet of Things. Where are we?
We have AI that already monitors how the artwork performs. We have AI in our shopping markets, in our shopping malls, that the advert can change according to the person looking at it. You can either interact with it. So I think in all of this, it's for us, it'll be in everything we do, I think. And it's a very exciting time.
It is, definitely. And these technologies are already in place right now, or we're going to implement
some of them are in place, but there are many that are coming along. As Tom said, how we buy the media. We are looking at ways of how, under our backlight model, we don't have a rate card, for example. The price is supply and demand. So we are looking at developing our own tool, which will further enhance the supply and demand model, so we can optimize what the price should be in the very good months in order to maximize our revenue.
Yeah, very smart. And
I would have a slightly more sanguine view on AI because apart from Donald Trump, I think AI is the most talked about thing in media at the moment. And I remember not too long ago, the metaverse was the hot topic and the thing that was going to make everything change in the media world and so forth. And I don't hear much about the metaverse these days. Now, don't get me wrong, I think AI is real. And I think it will improve our efficiencies and it will improve our businesses and it will improve our ad tech. But I think it will be more gradual than a lot of people are predicting. And I think we should just keep our feet on the ground in terms of not over-promising on what AI can do to our business. But we did in our Hong Kong Congress just last June have a speaker from Ocean, Stephen Joseph, who's the new CEO, and he showed some practical examples of how they are using it already to improve efficiencies. And that resonated with me. I think that's the way we need to look at it.
Can you tell us a bit about those efficiencies?
We probably need all day to do that, but
we'll do this on another.
We have it in our finance department, in our operations department, in our marketing department.
Yes.
All of so as soon as the booking order comes in, AI gets it through to invoicing and it's gone to the client. No person has to involve themselves in that process, for example.
Yeah.
and how we monitor lighting, when bulbs should be changed, optimizing not just when they blow, but understanding when we should change them, and screen maintenance and optimizing that, and understanding the cleaning processes. So there's many ways that it can improve our business on the day-to-day.
Did you mention copy approval?
Copy approval here today, we still have to get government permission.
Yeah, and
but eventually it should go through AI.
There are lots of clients like that in other markets where state-owned bodies do feel they need to sanction copy, and I think AI can play a great part in, for example, speeding that process up, because a lot of advertisers, want to be getting close to real time, and they don't want to have to wait until copy is approved from the landlord.
That would be the dream.
Yeah.
If we could simplify that and speed it up.
Exactly. There's a lot of restructuring and consolidation happening in the market. What's your thoughts on that, James?
I think it sort of follows on from what Tom was saying. It's because our industry is still thriving and doing well. It's a market that people are starting to take notice and want to get involved in. There was recently a transaction in the UK where a radio company came in to buy a large outdoor player. And I think you'll see more of that type of consolidation as other forms of legacy media look at the industry and understand. We've had some private equity companies looking at big companies in America.
True.
So for us, I think it's perfect timing, because we, of course, will begin that process of looking at opportunities, because there aren't many industries that go from static to digital, and the same space can multiply by 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. It's a pretty good inbuilt growth.
Yes.
So it's something that we're looking forward to.
And how do you see that, Tom?
I really am a fan of consolidation.
Okay.
Because what happens, Mehdi, is the industries in the countries that have consolidated, the stats are clear that they do better than the fragmented markets. And why is that? The answer is because if you're a big player in a market, you are more inclined to invest more heavily in that, because you're getting, a decent chunk of a return. And that's the first thing. The second thing is getting back into what I was talking about in terms of transactions. Ad agencies are very time poor, and their margins are being squeezed. So they're automating more, but they also look to buy at scale. And they want to be able to move money into media fast and at scale, and with confidence that they're getting what they paid for. So I think consolidation is really helping that. And I think I applaud what Multiply have done in this market. I've spoken about it from the podium. James mentioned Bauer Media in Europe have just made a $625 million investment in the Clear Channel assets in Northern Europe. And a company in Mexico called Global, it's a Mexican TV company, has just bought the Clear Channel assets in 3 of the Latin American. We're seeing legacy media companies acquiring out-of-home assets, because that helps to offset their decline in growth, because out-of-home is a growth sector.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's why we think we can win, the consolidation of business in countries we want to go into.
Yes.
We think that the options for consolidation are large.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And in terms of sustainability, James, what are we doing to make our operations and the business more sustainable?
Well, in my previous role at Backlight, we set a target in 2022 called Backlight 2026. And that was our 30th anniversary, that we were going to become carbon neutral by 2026. Last year, we had decreased our carbon emissions by 70% already. So we're well on the way to achieving it by next year. And now, as part of Multimedia Group, we are rolling out the same policies. So Viola Outdoor now, you'll see that some of the signs are now lit by solar panels. Signs that are vinyl panels, for example, they're taken down and they are recycled. Often they're used at orphanages or at schools to be recreated into clothing or into bags. So and then internally, the lighting we use, our lighting is 70% more efficient.
Right.
Now the lighting on our static signs, the digital signs we buy are the most efficient in the market. Mm-hmm. So at every point, even in our offices, we don't have plastic anymore. Everyone has a bottle and they have to drink from it. So we're trying to do our bit to ensure that we hit our 2026 target. Mm.
And Tom, globally, do you see this throughout the industry, or
globally it's patchy?
It's patchy.
It's patchy globally, but in overall terms, if you go on the World Out of Home Organization's website,
yes,
you'll be very impressed because we've got a special micro section. It's a sustainability repository. We've set up a sustainability task force, global, and one of our board directors, Catherine Robinson, is in charge of that. The stats on out of home generally are very good already, but we're not getting them out there. We're probably the best performing medium, best performing channel in terms of carbon footprint. But we're doing that because as citizens, it's the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
And in terms of our livelihood, if we don't do it, our clients are saying, if you don't get your act together and join the 2030 carbon neutral club, as they've committed, you'll be going down the buying chain because we will be buying off media owners who are taking this subject seriously. I, not so long ago, was asked to do an interview with the global CEO of one of the big 6 agencies. And before he accepted, he did some research to see what our credentials were in the World Out of Home Organization on sustainability. And if he hadn't been satisfied, he wouldn't have taken that interview. So there's a thing called Ad Net Zero, which has been set up by the client community, the advertising agency community. And it's a very, very active organization which we're interfacing with. And they are committed to carbon neutrality by 2030.
That's very impressive.
And a number of our clients, we have to sign documents agreeing to their sustainability targets. And I expect by 2030, it'll be all of the clients.
That's music to everybody's ears.
In spite of, I'm going to mention him again, in spite of Mr. Trump pulling out of the Paris.
Yeah.
But no, I think businessmen are just going to keep on that track, and certainly we're not taking our foot off the gas. Excuse the pun.
No, absolutely.
It's expensive to do what's right, but you must do what's right.
You have to.
And so it's not a cost; it's an investment in the future.
Yeah, we owe it to the future generations, the kids, so on and so forth. So yeah, absolutely, we have to. We owe it to the planet. Before we let you go, well, one final question. What is the most pressing challenge and opportunities that you see in 2025 and beyond? And what advice would you give for the out-of-home media companies?
Yeah, I mean, great question, Meta. The challenges are out there. The challenges are, how we talked about it beforehand, the challenges are dangers of oversupply.
Right.
When I travel around the world, I see huge variances in the balance in terms of environmental numbers in the out-of-home world. So, for example, in Africa and in India, there is a real problem with clutter that they're tackling. And you have a situation where a respectable media owner with a high degree of ethics will invest a lot in putting up an asset that's in a beautiful architecturally designed frame. Next week, an illegal billboard goes up in front of it. So I think regulation is important. And I think regulation comes in two forms. One is we need to make sure that regulation protects media owners, ethical media owners. But at the same time, a lot of well-meaning people are banning certain food products in out-of-home and discriminating against out-of-home, not all media. We have to monitor excessive regulation on the other hand. The other challenges we have are collaboration. I think the message I take around is that we'll do better if we collaborate. That the word I use is that we're not competitors, we're allies. And in the out-of-home micro economy, we work with the media agencies, we work with our service suppliers, and we also should work more with other media owners. Now, of course, if there's a government tender, of course, if a big advertiser is spending money in the sector, we should compete hammer and tongs really for that. But then there's a bigger battle, which is the sector battle,
right?
Where we want to win share from other media. In your case, in the UAE, if you win a slice of a budget, that's 20% of the media spend. What about the other 80%? And for us to go after that 80% and get a higher share of the entire budget, we need to collaborate more. So I think as consolidation comes, that tends to follow. But some markets are reluctant to do that, and it really is a fact that sector growth, just 1% of sector growth, is 4 times more valuable than 1% of silo growth. So I would like to see the industry competing at local level, and that should continue, but doing a lot more, together at sector level to become more competitive with other media.
That makes perfect sense. James, any final thoughts?
I think it's a very exciting time for Multiply Media Group to launch. The industry is on a fantastic cusp of digitalization, data, programmatic, analytics, AI. And so I've been doing it 25 years, and I'm very much looking forward to the next, maybe not 25 years, but
why not?
The next few years.
Why not?
If Tom can do 30,
He's going to do 30, he can do 25.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Tom and James, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you for taking time out for a busy day to be with us today. And please, this is a platform you're always welcome to. The next time you're in the UAE, we'll be more than happy to have another conversation with you.
Thank you, Mehdi.
Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you.